And that, my friends, is why you never mess with a fish. This never comes up. This hardly ever comes up. I've said my first name playtime. My first name is Brent, but my last name is actually is legitimately legally Fish. So anytime you get a fish meme going on, that's me, baby. Um, so Iron Lung, based off the 2002 game by David, what was it? David Szymanski. Markiplier, or Mark Fishbach, that's his real name. First official directorial debut, produced by his own studio. I don't know who they got to uh, distribute the movie, but I don't know if a actual like one of the big ones actually came to distribute the movie, but they came to Cinemark. It's his first time directing it, and look, I just want to say right out the front, or right at the gate, I'm going to repeat a lot of what I said last night, but more detail. It is very few people have the gall, the will, the gumption, the drive to actually make a movie. And then it's exceedingly difficult beyond that to make a good movie. People talk about why we don't have good comic book movies or just movies in general. It's like, do you know how hard it is to make a movie in general, let alone a good movie? Come on. Because you now have to appeal to a lot of people with different views and different feelings. And then to actually get that movie in theaters, not just like in a limited, but like in theaters. The fact that people like Chris Stuckman and Mark, I've heard people get on Chris Stuckman's case, like, hey, guys, he's just chosen a different career path at this point, man. Like, you really back off a little bit. You really are coming up off a little bit like a dick. But seriously, yeah, like the fact that these guys actually went and did it, I think you gotta hats off to them. I think you just gotta applaud them. And trust me, when those credits started to roll and Markiplier's name came up, my entire theater, yeah, they were like, they cheered and clapped. Like, yeah, because clearly I'm like, they fans of the game, most likely, at least some of them, and clearly fans of Markiplier. And let me be clear about this too. I was expecting, based on what this is about, all that, I was expecting maybe 15 to 30 people at most in my theater. The theater I was in, I looked this up previously, it is an auditorium that holds like somewhere in the neighborhood of about 200 people, maybe a little bit more. And I was expecting maybe 20 or 30. Like, I don't know how well known a game it is. I've never played the game. I have looked up playthroughs and be like, what's this game about? I go to the kiosk, the digital kiosk, but go choose a seat. The only thing left are the front seats and the side seats. That's it. Like, about 70 to 80% of my auditorium was filled up. I haven't seen an auditorium that filled up since Zootopia 2. Like, that's how filled up that auditorium was. And that is just nuts. Tells you just how big a fan base like someone like Markiplier does have. And I love Markiplier. I remember watching a lot of his stuff. I remember watching him do fish feed and grow and stuff like that. So, and that's such a basic game, but I really, especially when you hack it, so the fish can just keep growing in size and just have this monster of a fish. Yeah, it is fun. But yeah, so as someone who hadn't played the game, what did I think of this movie? And I'll say what I said out of the theater. For a first-time directorial debut from someone, this is a very good movie. It is. So for those of you who've never played the game, the idea is that humanity developed interstellar travel. Yet for some reason we can't build a better iron lung, whatever. But developed interstellar travel. And then something called the quiet rapture happens, where stars and habitable planets just kind of disappear, and the only people left are on these separate space stations. And they're thinking they may find an answer to something or survival on this moon that has an ocean of blood, and they put this convict in an iron lung to investigate the wreckage. It's about him, or investigate what's down there, and it's about what he's finding, him wrestling with his sanity, his guilt. There's possibly supernatural elements. There's definitely sci-fi elements. Obviously, science fiction elements. And where it ultimately leads. And you actually have written a good script when your lead is 90% on his own, like 95% on his own throughout most of the movie. There's a couple of voiceovers, like people whose voices are part of the movie as well, that you hear them like narrating, and not narrate. Well, there's one narration, but who are talking over like a radio, or in like if he's hallucinating or something like that. But there's like one scene where he does go above the go back to the surface, and you do see actual people. But really, for the 95% bulk of this film, this 2 hour and what was it again? 2 hours and 7-minute film, it is just Markiplier himself. And look, I don't know if Mark's actually done any acting before this. I don't. This is his first time directorial debut. I don't know if this is his first time acting. In fact, you know what? Give me a second. Let me see if Markiplier has actually done acting before. I don't know if he's actually done acting. Filmography. No, this is his first acting gig. Oh no, hold on. No, sorry. This is his first directing. He actually has done some acting. Okay, I did not know that. I mean, web series, music videos, podcasts, whatever. But no, he actually has had a couple acting roles, mostly in let's see, Smosh the movie, a cameo appearance, nothing really. Heist Markiplier, those are various interactive films he's done. Okay, so he's done a little bit of acting. He was in a documentary film, Markiplier from North Korea. Okay. He's also been in some television, Villainous and The Edge of Sleep. I'm not familiar with either of these, but he's done a little bit of acting. But this is his first true, real main lead role in a in a full budget film. So for someone who this is their true first big on screen role, I think Markiplier killed it. He really does give a guy who, he's a convict, he's been in prison, he's desperate to be out of there, but as time goes on, he even says, I just want to live. Like, you see that this is a man who carries guilt. This is a man who's just fed up with the way things are, about being just just jostled or pulled around by different parties. And like that descent into madness, but then kind of getting the clarity back, but then going back in the the back and forth he goes with his sanity. I did like him as a character. I really did. And all the other people, like voiceovers, like do the best they can. It's not like amazing, but they do the best that they can. Man, I'm sorry. I'm looking at myself in the webcam. Like, man, I got old. I mean, I'm 36 now. I'm like, I think I look pretty good for. I still think I could pass for my early 30s. I don't think I could pass for 20s. At best, I could pass for like a late 20. But I think I can still pass for early there. But as you get older, you're like, I notice like age lines a lot more now. I can even look at younger people now, like people like half my age, like in their late teens, early 20s, and actually see where they're going to age. It's a very unique ability you get as you get older. Sorry, I sidetracked. So yeah, and what makes his performance so so good is the fact that he is isolated. It is just there is no others. There's a few shots like from flashbacks of other locations, but really this entire film takes place on the sub. That's where it takes place. There is one or two moments of a few like hallucination or memory flashbacks to like different locations or hallucinations to different areas. But overall, it's all in the sub and him trying to, and him just trying to make it and survive in this iron lung. Which again, this is not a criticism of the film. This is a criticism of the source material itself. Like, there's a whole bunch of logic things, like from just a ecological, biological, and mechanical standpoint that I'm watching this film. Like, look, don't think about it. Just enjoy the film, man. Just enjoy the. But that said, like, how does this work? If you play the game, there is something in the water. There's something in the blood that's living in the blood. I'm like, how does that work? It's Like, that's where, like, the alleged supernatural elements may come in. But I'm like, wait, what? Biologically, how does this effing work? Like, I don't think this can work. Which then leads me to my next theory. It's like, well, maybe it's not all blood. Maybe there's like a blood layer and it's like a mix of stuff. Because as we see a shot later in the movie, I'm like, that doesn't look like blood. That looks like there might be a lot. That looks like it's stuff mixing with blood, to be fair. Because we know there is, like, this is an ocean of blood. But because we can actually have again, without too much spoilers, we see an outside perspective shot at one point of, like, the sub and something else in the ocean of blood, which we shouldn't be able to see. They even say, yeah, your camera is X-rays. You can't see through blood. Like, but clearly we can see this. So my guess is, and this is just my guess, and in my headcanon for this world, that this is not solely an ocean of blood. This is an ocean of this was once an ocean, probably of water, mixed with a lot of blood. And honestly, that would actually make some sense. Because the blood, now granted, they talk about the quiet rapture, the light, these supernatural elements that may or may not be happening. So, and again, to be fair, that's kind of like a bit of the point of the movie. It's like, what happened here? We don't know what happened here. But, you know, I don't know if you ever watched Roanoke Gaming. I love Roanoke Gaming. I love his breakdowns of biological, like, like diseases, supernatural. I love creatures most definitely. I love when he does breakdowns of creatures' anatomy where they cut, like, biology, evolution, all that. But if you know him, you know he's got a fear of the anglerfish. So I am just waiting for the day for him to review this movie. Not the game, this movie. Because this is where I'll also say, because I did watch a playthrough of the game, they do deviate from the game storyline. But they keep in spirit of the game storyline. That's the thing. They do keep in spirit of the game storyline while deviating from it as well. So because of that, I am wondering how they are going to, how he would be able to just rationalize reviewing this. And because I would like to get his take on, like, what is going on this moon planet of blood, this ocean of blood. What is going on? But when that's said, it does still, I think, from what I remember, from what I watched, keep true to the spirit of the game, while deviating at, like, the last 20 minutes, but for a very entertaining reason. Like, they mentioned this is the bloodiest film of all time, and kind of they're not lying, man. It, like, goes from, like, psychological horror to just pure unadulterated gore in the last, and, like, just insanity in the last 5 minutes of the film. 10 minutes of the film, to be fair. Because, I mean, you see it in the trailer. The ship is leaking. Like, there's holes in the ship, and therefore blood is getting into the ship. But there's another element going on with the blood as well that they don't, initially tell you about, which, leads to the fact that it might be something more than just in his head. I won't say what's going on, but all I will say is it very much is like, oh, well, this is where we're going with this now. Lovely. So, and it goes completely nuts, and I kind of loved it. That said, you can at points tell this is Mark's first time directing something, because there are edits that I get are designed to be him disoriented and him not, him losing track of reality, him losing time. I get that there are shots, like, there are shots that work for that, and then there are shots where I'm like, well, the editing is not making sense here. And unfortunately, there is also the shaky cam aspect of it, particularly near the end. He's definitely near the end. There is the shaky cam aspect of it. And again, first time director, I can't blame him for everything he did or any real option or choices he made. The fact that he made a good movie, again, one of the hardest things to do in Hollywood, even when you're a professional. So the fact that he was able to just make a good movie at all, I think we got to, again, hats off, give him the clap, man. But again, as a first-time director, this is where you look back, see, take, and look. I don't know if Mark, you're ever going to watch this. I mean, I'm sure you're going to want to like hear people's thoughts on the film. In fact, actually, does Rotten Tomatoes have Iron Lung up now? That's a good question. I didn't think about that because I don't know how big a release this is. We got it at my Cinemark, but I don't know how big a release he's getting on this. Let's find out. Iron Lung, does it actually have a review or not? Or any Rotten Tomatoes reviews. But okay, talking directly to Markiplier himself. Not not that I think he's ever going to see this review, but on the off chance, I mean, he's a YouTuber, so maybe. Oh, Ireland does have it. Okay, so there is no critical review right now, but there is a 92 audience rating. You know what? Put me in the percentage. How many audience members actually voted? Hey, Mercy went up, by the way, by 24%. So good for Mercy. Sorry, I know Mercy had a terrible opening weekend and terrible score, so I thought I'd note on that real quick. But let's see here. How many people actually vote? Okay, over 100%, over 100 people. You know, like straight up, if I were actually, I never thought about that, but am I capable of being a verified Rotten Tomato reviewer? I never thought about that. Not a critic, not the actual. I'm talking about the audience score. I never thought of actually becoming a verified Rotten Tomato audience member, but yeah, I think though the problem with that is I think that's like they have to interview you or something like that after the fact. Log in, sign up. I mean, I guess I could theoretically do it, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that sometime. But yes, okay. So if for whatever reason, Markiplier, you find my little YouTube channel and you watch my review, that's probably only going to get like 50 hits, but that's fine. I just do what I do because I love it. My critiques of the film would be, I love the atmosphere you created. I loved you in the film, man. I also liked all the few other actors who were there. I liked them a lot. I liked that you did change the story up a little bit and added and made that element with the thing in the water, or I call it the water, but the blood, a bit more of an integral plot to the movie. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering the game wrong because I did only watch one playthrough for it. But I do remember that ending is not the ending in the game. You did alter that ending quite a bit, and I actually really liked it. I would say the movie could have been a little shorter. At 2 hours and 7 minutes, you are taking your time with the movie a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. You are compelling enough in the movie that I wasn't bored or anything like that, but I think it could have been trimmed down maybe 10 minutes. Not too long, just 10 minutes. And I think some of the ending could have been fixed or handled a little bit better, especially when you got to the end with the shaky cam a little bit. Like I'm not saying a little shaky cam, especially in that moment, couldn't have worked. Just saying a little too much shaky cam for my taste. But I digress. By the way, kudos for you for being drenched in that much freaking blood that often. Like seriously, man, how much fake blood did half the budget go to the fake blood alone? Because that's a lot of fake blood, man. Holy crap. Which, by the way, I'm interested to see how well this film does this weekend, because according to Mark himself, the film was made on a fraction of the estimated 7 million ticket pre-sale. I mean, I don't know what a fraction of that would theoretically, because a fraction of that could be 50%, 20%, whatever. I'm going to go on a limb, but just my limb, and say it was made on somewhere maybe between $2 and $3 million. That's my guess. Let's average that to 2.5. I have no idea what you spent in marketing. I'd have to guess it wasn't a lot, mind you. Most of the marketing I saw was online, if I'm going to be honest. So if I had to guess, you guys probably kept the marketing budget really low. $1 million or $2 million is what I'd have to guess. Let's just round it up for an even 5. Just even 5. Well, technically $5 million is even. But $5 million. Let's just say I'm going to guess right now you spent $5 million on the film, total marketing and everything like that. Okay. And it used a lot of the internet to help with that. So yeah, if just the 7 million pre-sales, that means you'd make your money back this weekend alone. So look, your first. It sounds like from the way you from little I saw for the budget, it sounds like you spent this on such a low budget and did so smart marketing, but low marketing in terms of budget, that you guys are going to turn a profit your first weekend. And so, and again, hard to just make a movie, harder to make a good movie, insanely difficult to make a good movie that gets put into theaters. But to make a good movie that gets put into theaters and that just turns a profit, turns the profit on the first weekend. Look, you, I don't know what dice you rolled to get that 7, man, but you got that 7. I don't know what Lady Luck was smiling on you, man. Like, it was smiling on you this weekend, and you got all that hard work you guys did. Seriously, it paid off something fierce. So, I look forward to see what the next thing you do is, be it acting or directing, writing, whatever. And like I said, I'm not saying this makes me want to play the game. I'll be honest, this wouldn't be my type of game to play, but I'm not gonna disparage anyone who actually likes this type of game, likes when it likes the style. All I can say is congrats to you, Mark. You made a dream come true, not just for you, but for people who are fans of this. So you made it happen, man. So that's my thoughts on the movie. I really enjoyed it. It was actually a really good time. And it helps that we're in January, and it's been a very weak January, unfortunately. And that's unfortunate to say because we got like the Bone Temple, which I absolutely loved. I actually saw it 2 times. I don't see a movie 2 times very often. But it's been a very weak January. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say on it. So I'm guessing it helped, but I don't want to take anything away from the success that this film's likely gonna have. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. What'd you think of the movie? I'll see you next time.